He has a cool idea where he talks over this part.
I was saying, if this was like a New York Times podcast, the intro to the show would be someone reading the synopsis of the film as the setup. The music would run and we'd be like, Danny Ocean and his hotshot crew are out for the heist of a lifetime, right?
Yes.
But then Bill pointed out, if we do that, it saves him from explaining the movie, which I don't want to lose.
Oh, that's a pro.
I don't want to lose that.
I don't like doing it.
It's really funny to try to explain this movie in this era. Like, in 2024 to have to explain this movie to anyone is really funny.
Okay.
I've got
Welcome back. Hang on.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome back to Bill Goes to the Movies, a podcast that still exists.
Yeah, why does everyone think we don't do it anymore?
Because we haven't done it in like 6 months or 4 months.
Well, and I think there was that period when COVID happened, and actually we have one of the best encapsulations of how everyone was feeling at that time, because we kind of stopped doing the pod. Like, there's a few episodes where we're just playing League, and we just recorded it.
We're hopeless.
There's an episode where we're supposed to watch Little Big Man. Both decide not to and play League of Legends instead.
Mm-hmm. We're so desperate.
And we recorded that and uploaded it.
We were so desperate for connection that we just talked to each other playing video games and called that an episode.
We didn't know what was happening. There were food rations. There was a police curfew. We were all stuck inside for the first. It was a weird time.
Playing Animal
podcast
Crossing.
got a little weird.
I like you bringing up COVID.
Something to think about.
How much of a crazy time it was.
Don't forget how weird it was.
And now it's gone.
We went to Trader Joe's when it started to get food because you couldn't get food. And they're like, you only get 3 things. And everyone had taken everything except these little frozen bao buns. And because the packaging was kind of funky. They kind of looked sus.
Yeah.
Deanne went and got 3 and then came to the car, and then I went in and then sat with Lauren, who was a baby. And then I went in and got 3 packs of that. So all we had we had 6 packs of these frozen bao buns. They're pretty good. We bought them for a while after that.
It's pretty wild. Oh, go ahead.
I can't imagine having a kid while that was going on. That must have been weird. Horrifying.
It was the first like year of his life, pretty much.
That's
somebody from work actually had to come to my house and get toilet paper because there was just none. I was like, I get it in bulk on Amazon, so I've got like a bunch anyway. But like, I think it's easy to forget. I think the malaise of it and like how lonely and weird it was is one thing, but that initial burst where like the roads were empty, the grocery store was crazy. Like the grocery store is open, but you have to like wait in a line and you go in.
It was really weird.
And we got over that. Like we've all forgotten that.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly. I was at Universal Studios yesterday. I was looking around and I was like, we didn't learn anything. Like we're all going to get sick again.
I've told the story maybe on this before, but the craziest thing for me was the Mask of Red Death. Did I ever tell you guys that when I experienced it in real time?
The Mask of the Red Death?
I don't know.
Yeah,
the story?
Yeah. So in the Mask of Red Death, basically, it's an Edgar Allan Poe story, and there's a town with a castle at the top of the town. Mm-hmm. And in the town, there's a plague happening, and all the rich people have sequestered themselves inside the castle, and they're just partying in there. And it's like a 24-hour party while everyone dies down below in the poor areas. And this guy shows up in a mask, and everyone's like, "What's up with that guy?" And his presence causes everyone to like go crazy and kill each other, but it's meant to be that the disease has made its way into the castle. So we were trying to find food, supplies, anything. Everything was super cleared out. We couldn't find masks. We couldn't find toilet paper. We couldn't do anything. And we go to Whole Foods and there's nothing there. We go to Trader Joe's and everything's cleared out. And I just like as a Hail Mary, I go like, what if we go to Air One? And for anyone who's not from LA. I knew it was going to be Air One. I knew it was going to be Air One. For anyone who's not from LA, Air One's like, you can get like there's like a $50 jar of soup and there's like $300 bottles of water.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, whatever, we try.
You bump into Scarlett Johansson there.
Dude, I walked in there and it was as if there was no coronavirus at all. It was as if business as usual. There was toilet paper, there was food, the staff was really friendly. They were like giving away free masks. It was the most like the rich were in there absolutely pretending like nothing was happening. That was like the most bizarre moment for me. It was like, oh, this is what like rich people are doing. Like they're just somewhere else, and this is not happening to them.
Yeah,
You know,
they go
It
to
was-
like a little resort. They all do their COVID test when they come in, and then they
Yeah.
party.
It was crazy. It
It
was
was
really
nuts.
fucking crazy.
And you know what? Escaping that horrific situation is not unlike escaping a Las Vegas vault.
Nice.
It's pretty good. Pretty good transition.
Is
Also,
that-
Oh, really good. Really
It's
the
good.
tone. The
Getting us-
tone.
I
is,
mean,
we
we were
opened on
gonna
a
keep
quite
going.
quite a dark tone too. As
Bleak.
No,
well, so we
I
should
was
probably
gonna continue. Yeah, it's
But
good to get us back.
But we survived, and so did the podcast. So far. Okay.
Stop saying we're dead.
Before we don't have a lot of time, but before Matthew was connected, Bill, you said that you watched a bunch of movies lately.
I watched
you
a few. I wouldn't say a bunch, but
you
yeah.
said
What
you
did
watched,
you watch?
What did you
Bullshit.
watch?
Okay,
Bullshit.
all
Because
right,
I
so-
watched a bunch of stuff too, but that's normal for me.
I started by saying, here's my challenge: is that I watched this full transparency. Okay, we're good friends. I've known you guys a long time. I feel like I could say this. I watched it a few days ago, and I forgot all my takes.
Oceans.
Yeah,
Got
I
it.
forgot all my takes. But
Okay.
I watched it last week, and then I watched Paul Giamatti
The Holdovers.
The Holdovers.
at the school.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Paul
watched
Giamatti at the
Paul
school is
Giamatti
the
at the school.
subtitle.
And then
That's the
I watched the guy from New Girl gets hunted for a game show on the dark web.
What?
He gets picked up.
Hang on. I thought
guy
you were
from
gonna
New
like.
Girl.
I thought you were saying the direction I thought this was headed was like you had decided to involve yourself a little bit more with like the zeitgeist, and you're like going through the award movies. So the Holdover.
No.
Then you watch like Killers of the Flower Moon or Poor Things. We're gonna hear about.
No.
But you watched the Holdovers and then a movie that you made up.
Okay,
It's the
can I
guy
ask-
from New Girl.
Did you find it?
No, is it Nick Miller? Okay, is it Jake?
Yeah, Nick.
Max? It's Nick.
It's Nick.
Nick?
Well, he's the only guy they put in movies, right?
He was pretty good. He gets contacted by some people who are working on the most popular internet show on the dark web, in which you get premise is great. You get hunted for 30 days by these
Okay.
hunters that are trying to kill you. And you win $1 million if you survive the 30 days. But since they can't implicate anyone else in mortal peril, they won't shoot you if you're next to somebody. So he believes he's found a loophole. He just has to spend the 30 days next to people, but he can't get anyone to believe him.
Self-reliance.
Is that what it's called?
Self-reliance.
So yeah, it had like an Emerson theme. Yeah.
How did you
It's a Hulu.
find this
It's on-
movie?
It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu original.
It was
just saw
it's a
the
Lonely
thumbnail?
Island thing, I think.
It is a Lonely Island thing.
I don't
yeah.
know. DM put it on.
They did. Did they do Palm Springs? Because I liked Palm
They did.
Springs.
They did.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it did feel like I was watching TV. If that makes it didn't feel like a movie. If that makes sense, it was
Right.
one.
Yeah.
It felt like a long episode of something.
What did you think of the Holdovers? Because that's one of the few that I haven't seen yet. That's like in award talk.
Got a lot of Bill.
Yeah.
It's a Bill Energy movie. That's a Bill Energy movie.
The Holdovers or
Yeah.
the weird
Holdovers.
one.
Holdovers.
Yeah, I did like its energy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It had a gentleness to it.
Yeah.
He's obviously killer in it. There are a bunch of good performances. It didn't do anything you wouldn't expect it to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're
Yeah.
expecting it to like go to some really new territory, the Holdovers does not do that. But maybe that's okay. I don't know. I thought it was really sweet.
I haven't seen it yet because I had to overcome. I don't know what it is, but I go to the movies a lot, and for some reason that trailer's been running for like 6 months.
The
And so-
Holdovers? Yeah.
Yeah, and so when it finally came out, I was like, I'm just glad I don't have to see this thing anymore. For every time, every time I go to a movie, I don't have to watch this trailer again, right?
I think you'll
I can't
think
fail
it's
this
fine.
class. Oh, I think you can fail this class. I'm like, I can't watch this again. But I think I'm almost ready to watch the movie.
I liked it. I would recommend it.
Giamatti's good, I hear.
I'm not in a hurry to watch it again, but I like kind of damaged people trying to do
Yeah.
good.
I think you'll find it, Mike, to be completely fine, perfectly
Yeah.
okay.
That's
It's
how I
like an
felt
8 out
about
of 10.
like Saltburn. I was like, yeah, it was good. It's fine.
Oh
It's
no, that
fine.
was horrible. That was such a piece, dude. I hated that
Yeah,
thing.
I thought it was fine. My favorite
I,
movie of the year is probably Poor Things.
you haven't seen it yet. I want to though.
Yeah.
I heard it's great.
There's
So you didn't see.
another movie that Bill, maybe you might like, that I thought was going to get more attention. That's kind of not called title Showing Up,
Uh-huh.
which is
Sounds
like
familiar.
this quiet little movie about a girl's art show. And it's very, very dry. It's pretty funny, and it's really just slow, quiet, calm.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's on my list for the year too.
It's a good movie. Michelle Williams, she's really
Yeah,
good in
Michelle
it.
Williams is great in it, but it's such a calm. It's almost like watching the wind. Like there's there's just
Yeah.
nothing really going on for 2 hours.
Oh, it's a A24.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
but
sick?
not a spooky one.
What's sick is the best movie of the year is from the main man himself, Chris Nolan.
Yeah, Oppenheimer was really good.
I didn't see it.
Hate to say it, best movie of the year,
What's
and
the
it's not
runtime on that?
close. About 100 years.
Yeah, it's among
3 hours.
Yeah, it's 3 hours. It's not as bad as Killers of the Flower Moon, at least.
I just searched Oppenheimer runtime and it's just got the words 3 hours.
3
Yeah.
hours.
Killers
It's-
is 3:30.
Yeah. Oppenheimer's really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not give a shit at all about it. I was like, I don't care. I don't care what the story is. I know what happens. And the boy just pulls you right into it. He just makes it's fucking crazy how good it is. Yeah, that's a great movie.
It's
Killers,
the
Killers
heavy
Nolan.
it's the heavy
Yeah.
favorite, I think, for award season. Although Giamatti winning, I think Giamatti won the Critics' Choice Award, which is like skew, or no, wait, maybe Downey won that. There's a couple of toss-ups, and Giamatti's got like a late breaking. Everybody thought it was going to be Cillian Murphy for sure for the Oscar, but now it's
No, it'll
looking
be
kind of
For-
weird.
For the holdovers?
It'll
Yeah.
still be
He
Cillian
was
Murphy.
Yeah,
Cillian Murphy will
people.
win best
He's the
actor.
favorite,
He was
No
really good.
question. No question.
and then Gosling was the favorite for Barbie for supporting, but it looks like Downey's getting the late breaking push. So we'll see.
He's
I liked him.
really
I liked
good.
him as Ken as well. I think everyone did though.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
would
see
love
it.
Love the
the
take.
I would love the dirty play of the only performer getting an award from Barbie being the one male
That would be
character.
That would be very funny. That would be crazy.
But I mean, in
That would be
fairness,
crazy.
like Margot Robbie's probably going to get nominated. But in fairness, like, who do you give it to for actress this year? Because like Emma Stone is incredible in Poor Things. Lily Gladstone is really good in Killers.
Yeah.
Like it's so tight. I don't know how you could ever fit, anyway. Anyways, I watched Killers of the Flower Moon and it was good, but not like mind blowing. It was
The end
fun.
is very cool. The end is really cool.
What's so weird about that movie is the most important part of the book. The book is done in 3 sections. And the most important part of the book is the 3rd section, where the guy who wrote the book went to meet the Osage and he interviewed all these people who were family members of all of these murders. And what he uncovered is this was just one of many, many plots. And there are like hundreds or possibly thousands more murders that were never accounted for or never investigated. And that's not in the movie at all. And it feels like it's like, which makes sense, because how do you even do that in that same film, right? But it's kind of the most important part of the film or the book is like, by the way, there's way more of these that no one's ever looked into.
But I think that's what the end tries to do. Like, I don't know. For Bill, do you care about spoilers?
For what?
Killers of the Flower
You don't even know
for
what
a
we're
3 hour
talking
and
I'm not
30
even paying
movie,
attention.
30-minute movie.
No, it's fine.
Mike, explain the ending.
Are you talking about the stage
Yeah.
play?
Yeah,
So
it's insane.
you go through this whole thing of watching this movie unfold, and then at the very end it cuts to like a radio show live production of people telling the story as like an FBI file story from J. Edgar Hoover, and they're all doing the sound effects and like they're like,
Wait, like
there's
a fourth
different
wall thing? Like that's
Huh?
the movie you've been watching? Like a fourth wall break thing?
kind of.
No,
It's
like
It's
Like,
not at you, it's at an audience that's in a theater.
imagine if you
But
watched like,
but you've been watching the movie they're watching?
no, no, no.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's meant to feel like that. It's just
Okay.
like, go ahead.
Imagine like you're watching like Happy Gilmore, and then
Yeah.
at the end of Happy Gilmore, you watched a cartoon that told the story of the movie you just watched,
Yeah,
Oh,
but it
okay.
had like a different perspective.
right.
Okay.
And so it's told in this kind of like weird, over the top, like zany radio play, which I think is meant to be like, look how we trivialize these stories and we turn
Yeah.
them into like stories. And then Martin Scorsese comes out and
The
reads like,
director,
yeah, he reads like basically the conclusion, which is like this really depressing speech of like, and this person died and this happened and this is what, like, it's just like this kind of gut punch that sort of hints to the audience that this is like way bigger than what the movie shows.
what's really cool about this the radio performance is because you watch the whole story, super gritty, super realistic, as a movie, right? And then the movie basically cuts to white people telling the version of the story as like a radio Orson Welles War of the World style thing. They basically taken the real story, reinterpreted through like a white lens, and then now they're telling it like it's some cool, fun pulp story, and they're
Yeah,
trying to deny
cop
all of the
story.
horrible stuff you just saw. And then Martin Scorsese gets on and basically reads out this, like the end of American Graffiti where it like has like this person went to Vietnam. Like he basically
Mhm.
does that, but
Yeah,
it's like this reflection of him basically saying like, I can't tell this story well because but the problem is that the only people who can tell these stories are white creators and not the people like the Osage, first people. And that's like how he ends the movie. Like he basically ends the movie
yeah.
being like, this is always going to happen because we don't open up storytelling. Like I can only tell this story because I'm Martin Scorsese. Like he's
Even the
literally
book,
saying like this story would have never gotten told if I didn't make it, and that's crazy, which is
even the
really
book
cool.
is primarily centered on the investigation. Like the main characters of the movie's different because the main characters of the movie are Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. The book is more of like a whodunit, and the main characters of the book are kind of like the cops. And so, like, even in the book, the Osage are not like the main. They're like the victims, and their stories are told, but the story's more centered on this group of cops and FBI dudes that like crack this case open, right? So it's weird. What time is it? We got to keep rolling.
The problem is,
Bill, I
what is
don't.
there? What is there to talk about?
Ocean's 11. Bill, can you please recap the events of Ocean's? Just as a reminder, because it's been a little
Yeah.
while, we're talking about heist movies
Yeah.
this season. We watched The Asphalt Jungle. We watched Snatch. And this is, what else do we watch? This is episode 4 that we're recording right now. Or I don't know. This is, and now we watch Ocean's 11. What a lot of people consider to be sort of like, I don't know, a cornerstone heist movie. So, what do you, Bill? Can you recap
I
to
can.
the best of your knowledge,
I
your
can.
memory?
I'll just do it at a big outline. So George Clooney gets out of prison.
Yes.
He plans a heist to rob several casinos that are owned by the same guy. He recruits a team to do this, including and secures funding to do this, and including fellow cool guy Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the two of them lead the operation. Everyone else is kind of a specialist. And we find out that the guy that we're robbing is now dating in a relationship with George Clooney's wife.
Yes.
Um, so there's a big recruitment sequence in which everyone is brought on board. And then there is a planning sequence where they make a replica of the vault that all the money is in, and they plan the heist. We don't get all the details. And then the heist happens, which is a bunch of gotcha, I was smarter than you, baiting the guy into doing stuff, making him look really stupid, getting him to lose the girlfriend anyway, and they get away with the money. And then she's been mad at him the whole movie, but at the end of all this, she says she'll wait. This time she'll wait for him to get out of jail. Should only be a little bit. And then they even give us a little scene of that happening at the very end. But the cops are still tailing them, or no, the goons are still tailing them. Yeah, the goons are still tailing them.
Which we'll learn more about in Ocean's 12.
Sets you up for a second one. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Is Ocean's 12 the one where Julia Roberts doubles Julia Roberts, where they're like, you look a lot like famous actress Julia Roberts.
I remember that.
That's 12?
Yeah, that's 12. That's with the Gray Fox.
Ah.
Yeah.
So Vincent Cassel
lasers
of
France?
Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Brotherhood of the Wolf fame, yeah.
We all love Vincent Cassel.
He's
Bill,
great.
what are your highlights and lowlights for Ocean's 11?
I'm sorry, I keep coughing. My low light ties in with this whole season. Okay, my highlights. Highlight's going to take 2 seconds to say. My low light is more conceptual.
Okay.
I'm going to do the low light first anyway. The low light is just that there's like this air over the movie. And again, I said this about Lock, Stock, I think, or Snatch, I forget. But I was like kind of rough on it, and then a few days later, I was like, "Man, that movie's good." What was I saying? I do that a lot on this show, where I'll kind of poop on a movie, and then a few days later, I'm like, "Man, that movie's fine."
I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah, it's actually fine. I'm scared that's the case here, but
what do you mean?
Because I do think of it as like exactly like quintessential heist movie. Like when I think heist movie, I think of this movie.
Okay.
But okay, what bugged me was there's this air over the whole thing that's just like, these guys are so cool. And I think it's just a product of the time in which it was made. But it's like such a cool guy, such a blatant like cool guy fantasy, like, oh, I outsmarted the guy and I got the girl. And the whole world just bends around these men to make this happen for them in a way that I can't. I think back then we didn't see, and now it really sticks out. The ways in which every scene is somehow contributing to this thesis that George Clooney and Brad Pitt are the coolest guys. And it kind of bummed me out. I don't know how to say it, but that to me is the low light of the movie.
That's really interesting.
What is it about that bothers you?
It's just a fantasy. It's not. It feels like a movie should try to do more than that. I don't know, because I like some movies that don't do more than that. But
because there's dingier heist movies that are not covered and glossed over with the sheen of cool.
Everything's like perfect. Yeah, it's like some. Yeah. It's like I don't know. I feel like we've all known guys like this.
Are you annoyed because you picture like a guy who wears a suit and like talks fast?
No, just guy like they're so clever, and they get the better of everybody they come across, and I don't know. I think that I guess what I'm imagining is some guy watching this that's just a total dork, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, that's like me."
That's such a strange thing to hold against a movie.
There is something
it just sticks out to me, man.
If you look at there is something to it that's like, these aren't people that we would actually like if we had to interact with.
Oh,
and there's like, we're like, these guys are kind of turds, but they seem cool.
I don't think so. I don't agree.
There's a really funny thing.
George Clooney is so charming.
One of the things that I think is so funny about this movie, and I'm sure it's not accidental, is in the beginning of the movie, Brad Pitt is like teaching actors how to play cards, and they're all presented as just absolute dumbasses. And there's this whole thing, there's just like this kind of undercurrent in that whole segment of like how stupid Hollywood is and how stupid actors are. And then this movie is like a love letter to like big Hollywood. Like it's movie stars. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And even I think Matt Damon's like earlier in his career here, but like clearly movie stars across the board.
Oh yeah.
And it like, I like this movie, but it really does luxuriate in the idea that the audience really wants to see these cool guys doing cool things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just winning at every obstacle they come across. And there's
you know
a
what?
few
This is a
bumps along
thing.
the way, but
So Matthew, this is a Bill thing too, because one of the things that bothered you about Mission Impossible was that Ethan Hunt
Ethan was too
always
cool. That he was too
had a
cool.
solution. He's always, you don't like a hero that like doesn't mess up.
It's so crazy.
yeah.
Did you watch this before or after the holdovers?
Before.
Yeah, see, I think you're looking through the lens of like
It's
Giamatti.
sour
Like
you.
Oh, that's a flawed man. Yeah.
You just
you're like,
want
why
to
doesn't
see you just want to see the holdovers. Like you want to see a guy losing and having like the tiniest victory in the world,
Oh, yeah.
which is like
like the bear when nothing goes right, and then they make
Yeah.
a good sandwich, and I'm like, yeah, this is
I mean, I
beautiful.
think there's something to one of the things I don't like about this movie, which is maybe kind of related to this, Bill, is the only point of tension in this entire film is revealed to be all part of the plan. Like
Yeah.
the only thing that doesn't go smoothly in the movie is like Brad Pitt and George Clooney get in an argument, and that's been set up as a tension point of like, hey, you liking this woman, your love is going to compromise our ability to succeed. And we're like, oh, there's stakes here if he chooses wrong. And then it turns out, no, there was no stakes at all. It was all part of the plan, actually. And that
Yeah.
kind of bugs me.
Yeah.
But that's also what we're all there to see.
Yeah.
That's why we bought the ticket.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that is interesting to me. You two are eating the apple core.
No,
So
I like this movie.
I'm not poo-pooing the movie.
I
But
like
you asked
this-
me my low
in
light,
fact-
and that's what it is.
In fact, while I was watching it, I was thinking,
so crazy.
I don't know how we're going
It's
to,
not apple core.
I don't like,
It's
I feel
apple
like
core.
watching this movie, I feel like, oh, this one's going to go the distance. I don't know what the hell we're going to put up against it.
You just want to watch
It's a
like
minor
the road?
nitpick.
You want to watch Mad Max? Like you just want to watch like
Mad Max
like
is good.
anti-hero
better than this.
suffer?
I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of heist movies, and I think this is maybe the best representation of the ultra slick, got it all figured out, everybody's a genius, plan goes perfectly, like heist.
There's little hitches, right? Like, oh, they
Right.
left the briefcase on top of the thing.
So good.
Oh, when they're
Yeah.
rappelling, oh, it's stuck. Or whatever.
I don't know that
film.
it's
a
yeah.
fantasy film.
It is a fantasy.
It's a
guess
fantasy movie.
people
It's
don't want to
not-
watch it, them go to jail.
It's not gritty enough. Like, what are you saying?
I don't
Like,
want it to be more gritty. It's
We could watch
just,
Dog Day Afternoon.
It makes me feel a little like, I don't know, like pandered to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Welcome to the movies. Welcome to.
It's also an
watching
early
films on the big
2000s.
screen.
Like it's a 4 quadrant.
It feels
is
like
pandering.
it feels like such a product of its time.
Yeah, but it's still
cool.
good.
Not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah.
What are
It's
your
great.
highlights?
Yeah,
Wait, go,
this
Matthew.
is crazy. It's just crazy.
Wait,
It's just crazy.
I've harmed it with this low light. It bugs me. I don't know, listener. If
It's
you're
a
here,
small low light.
It's not a small
Right in.
low light. It's
validate
like the
me.
whole movie.
Sam,
it's the tone
Sam
of
will
the
know what I
movie.
mean.
Is it?
It's the-
Are you repulsed by cool people?
Maybe I might have
Yeah.
an allergy there, but they're too cool. You can be cool. I think, and to be clear, I think George Clooney and Brad Pitt are, especially Clooney, is so charming in this movie. You do root for him.
Yeah,
You
It's-
want him to be
it's-
Giamatti.
yeah. You want him covered in
Dude,
sweat.
Giamatti
trying
doing a
to crack
heist would be really
He's
cool.
covered in sweat, sliding his hands all over it, trying to crack a safe, and then he goes to jail.
I like more. I mean, yeah.
You want to watch Fargo?
He's flawed. But I like
Yeah.
I like them to overcome something. They're just too cool, and they make this guy look like an idiot.
It does feel like it's never in doubt, which is maybe the weakest.
I never
part
am.
of
I'm like,
the
oh,
movie, right?
oh shit.
But-
yeah, there's no actual tension in the movie.
But you don't know that the first time you watch it. And that's really not the point. Because you kind of
It's not the point.
maybe in your heart you know the good guys are gonna win because it's Oceans, but these are puzzle box. These are called like puzzle box movies, is how
Yes.
the descriptor, which is the joy is figuring out how they're going to do it. Not
How they
whether
win.
they're going to do it or not, but how is the joy. And
Yeah. And sure, and it's a very tightly. I'll say the heist itself, the logistics of the heist, even though a lot of it's just we hacked his system and we can reroute his calls, are that is a lot more intricately put together, a lot more cleverly written than say the dialogue.
I have one major low light from this film that has bothered me ever since the first time I've seen it and continues to bother me, which is Don Cheadle's accent.
Oh yeah,
That's bugged me for the whole time. But other than that, pretty good.
I didn't know him before I saw his movie, and I was like, oh, British guy. And then I saw him like as War Machine in Iron Man. I'm like, what the hell? What the fuck? Because I think the next thing I saw him in was Hotel Rwanda, and he has obviously an African accent in that, I think. So I was like, what's up with this guy? Like, and then I found he's just an American guy.
What was your low light while we're here?
Highlights, lowlights for Matthew.
Yeah, what's your low light?
Not a single one.
Okay.
Loved it. He was clapping
flawless
the whole time.
movie. Yeah, you loved it.
I honestly don't see an issue with it at all.
Okay.
To say
it's
that
cotton candy.
To say
it's
that
cotton
like
candy.
It's too like they're too cool and things go too smoothly for them. Yeah.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Sounds cool.
That's what they ordered.
Happy Gilmore gets the trophy at the end and is able to like
dude.
But he has adversity.
Yeah, are you kidding me? His mom's he almost loses his house.
Yeah, and the tower falls down on the fairway.
Chubbs gets eaten by the alligator.
Yeah, he has loss. He
can't putt at all.
Julia Roberts got eaten by an alligator in this movie, the stakes would be through the roof.
That's a different movie.
I do actually think
can't putt.
I think 2 is actually better.
Really?
2 is better for this reason, because they do. Elliot Gould, I think, dies in it. He dies of like a heart attack. Like there's genuine them scrambling in it. Like there's a little bit of scrambling in it, and that feels cool.
Well, it has a threat, right? Isn't it about the vengeance of the Andy Garcia?
Two's premise is very dumb, because 2's premise is the guy whose money we stole found us.
Is mad.
I'm like, didn't you guys know that would happen? Like, what was your plan after the heist? You know, like they don't really have a plan. They're like, oh, he found us. I'm like, yeah, of course he did. What are you talking about? Like, I don't like that about.
That's one of the weirdest things about the ending of 11, which is the idea is the thing that the bad guy says is like, you better run. He gives that whole speech to Brad Pitt, which Brad Pitt really hilariously leaves the phone sitting, but he's like, I'm going to find you. And then at the end, the guys are just following them in their car. And I'm like, they look kind of found to me. Like, what are they waiting for? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, they're on a deserted road.
You would think they all have, like, Brad Pitt opens a series of hotels. And in 2, he owns hotels, then they like blow up his car. And it's like, you're not trying to hide. And this guy knows you did it. And he's not going to go by the rules of the law. Like, he's just going to kill you. Like, dude, you guys didn't think that would happen?
The consequences of a big heist do make for movie franchises, because there's a significant amount of Fast and Furious movies that center in the same zone. Bill, I know you have a heart out, so do you have a highlight?
Yes, I do.
Stands out?
Yes. I'll say really quickly on 12. Having Vincent Cassel there is sick too, because you created a posing cool guy. Right, like
a different kind of cool guy.
There's a different kind of cool guy that's in competition with them, and I think that makes it more compelling.
And he's like a caricature of a cool. So he makes them look. He makes them look kind of bad, because like the first time they cut to him, he's like basically a count who's so bored being rich that he now steals things just for fun.
Yeah,
and he's
like
good
the Thomas Crown affair.
Yeah. I think the highlight of that movie is when he dances through the lasers, and that's him retelling how he did it, because they had to come up with this big elaborate thing for how we're going to get through the lasers, and then they cut to him just being so cool, he just goes through them.
Should we watch 12?
Dude, 12 is kind of good.
Yeah.
Well, my highlight for 11. It made me want to go to Las Vegas, which is not something I feel.
Crazy.
Do you know, I was thinking Vegas the whole time we were watching it, I was like,
I don't want to go to Vegas.
I was thinking they really don't communicate in this movie that this whole place smells like cigarette butts.
I love. Okay, this is a true statement. I love going to Vegas for like one day and night.
Yeah,
by the second night, I'm ready to go. But the first night, I always have a good time.
Can't stand it.
Yeah, I buy that.
I'll go with you, but I can't stand it. Should we
We'll
go
do
to
a nice
Vegas?
bet.
Yeah,
okay.
Vegas.
Matthew, do you have a highlight?
Probably the whole thing. I think the whole thing is pretty good end to end. I can't think of a better heist movie, honestly. End to end, I don't think there's a better one.
It's a remake, right?
Yeah.
I
I was gonna
so.
do a bit where I
Frank
watched
Sinatra
where
The
I
direction's
pretended to have
great.
watched
The editing's
first one.
great. It's got
Yeah,
so much
Frank
energy.
Sinatra's good in that, yeah.
You guys have
Sammy
seen it?
Davis Jr. is good. Is it where
The
you
Rat
come
Pack?
in? Yeah.
Is it better than this?
No.
It's one of those. It's maybe hard to know because it's like
I haven't seen it.
older movies. Like, is Asphalt Jungle better than this? But like objectively on a timeless spectrum, probably. But which one do you want to watch again? Is
Sounds like
You
you
know.
guys don't want to watch Oceans, though. You hated it.
I'd watch 12. I don't think I've
I
seen
would
it
watch 12.
except for maybe one time.
It's good. It's really good.
I'm down to watch it. Well, what should we watch for the next episode?
12.
Oh, that's a good question.
We could watch 12.
We just do 12.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're short on time. We don't want you to litigate it. Just 12?
Well, what else will we watch? I feel like we've got a list. Like we know we want like probably Inside Man. I do think we have to watch Dog Day Afternoon, even though
Tough.
it's going to be tough.
Well, let's watch that after 12. So we'll do back-to-back Oceans, feel light and good, and then go
And then we'll watch Dog Day Afternoon.
Sink into the abyss. Yeah.
Bill, have you ever seen Dog Day Afternoon? You said you wanted a heist movie with some stakes.
Yeah.
This is a Paul Giamatti heist movie.
Yeah,
Perfect.
you'll like it.
Perfect.
It's an old Al Pacino movie. Cool. Final thoughts before we have to go?
I think you guys ate the apple core on this one.
I'm not
like
hating
the
on it.
movie.
I'm
It's
not
just
hating on
one-
it.
It's
Yeah,
one
it's a low
light.
I think you
It's
guys
just something
did
I
the apple
noticed,
core on
and
this
it-
one.
And you know
Kinda-
what?
kinda
I don't
bugged
think
me.
George Clooney's all that handsome.
I think it's
He's
too
good looking.
good, and you guys can't reckon with that.
I don't think it's too good.
I
I think it's good.
I think you're being stakeholders right now. Does that make sense?
I
You're looking.
I understand what you mean by that.
You're looking for feedback.
For stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel like
I
you
have to
need
say
to give
something in this
feedback.
meeting.
Yeah, you were looking for me to say one thing. I think it's too cool, and everything works out for the heroes. Is stakeholder feedback.
The
I gotta
only
find something
I
I
will
don't like.
say so. Those are all like
Can
minor
one of these guys
lowlights.
die midway through this story?
Just something, man.
For
just
me-
something.
What if one of them gets shot in the head?
Even if
Just
one
think
just looked
about it.
foolish. Like
I know
stub
this
his
is an
toe.
insane thing to say during this season, but I should probably just get it out front. I honestly don't love in a heist movie. I don't love it when the heist is like so complex that it seems like it can only happen in a movie. And I feel like the ocean movies do that.
You
where
guys
you're like,
lost it.
you're
You
like,
guys
this is something that can happen only in a movie. Because the normal, like, you know, a real heist wouldn't work. You couldn't do this.
They needed so many things to go exactly right
Right.
with what that guy was
Yeah,
gonna do and
dude.
But I like
Dude.
Matt Damon in it.
It's
Is
a
12 the one where he
movie.
wants to wear the fake nose?
Yes, and his parents. Well, I won't ruin it, but yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
His parents are in it. It's very good. It's very fun.
Yeah. I just don't like movies where people like make up elaborate plans to like steal stuff.
You guys don't like movies that are fun to watch. Like that's what you guys are saying. What happened
What?
to you both?
You know I love fun movies.
Yeah,
what are you talking
that's good.
about?
We did a whole podcast about this.
A24 movie snobs.
That too.
You guys ate the apple core
Have
on
you
this
seen
one.
the new Mickey Mouse cartoons?
No, I can't
They're-
think of anything I want to watch less than that.
They're good. No, they're like 8 minutes long, and I think the Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob people are working on it because they'll do
they're
like a
real
gross-
Mickey cartoons.
They're real Mickey cartoons.
They're not
They'll-
like public domain.
no.
people-
I'm
oh,
talking
I
about
see.
real Disney made stuff.
No,
yeah,
I haven't seen those.
they're pretty good.
I'm watching Monarch right now, which is the writing's awful.
You guys are
But it's been
pissing me
fun.
off beyond any
You know, while
anything
we're at
I can
it,
say.
I think Martin Scorsese's not very good.
That's actually not a crazy take. There's a lot of people. Who
Okay,
don't like
now
this
who's the
style.
apple core?
Now we're eating the apple core.
Now
Okay, we
who's
gotta
apple
go.
core?
Bill's gotta go. We gotta go. It's nice to see everyone. We'll be back hopefully next week. Everybody watch Ocean's 12 and don't forget to email us.
Yeah,
Bill
hopefully
at
we have time for mail next time.
billgoestothemovies.com. We didn't have time for mail today, but we will
shoot.
next time.
I'll get a mic too. I'll buy a mic. I think this one's busted.
Yeah, I'll find my
Yeah.
cord.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. Sure you will.
All right, we did it.
Wait, I have to run the.
Bye.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
I
wait,
forgot
yeah.
how
What
to-
do we normally do here?
This.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.